Hey guys! Hello to our YouTube subscribers, our Facebook subscribers, everybody out here. Hello. Hello, guys. All right, we're waiting just for more people to log on. We've gotten a lot of emails that people are coming in. And today we wanna, Melissa, you ready?
Okay, just saying.
It's actually one of the ForexChicks' birthday. It's Melissa's birthday. It was Melissa's birthday this weekend. She turned the big
29 again.
No, she's 30, guys.
29 again. Like
she's 30. And we had a great weekend and we got to celebrate. And look where she's at again. She could have been out, but we're here. We have a webinar, first webinar. We're so excited to finally be back.
Absolutely, guys. I'm just like, you know, we came together and we were like, you know, we're getting a lot of emails and maybe it's time we just come back. And, you know, we've learned a lot of things on this time off that we've had and we've continued to trade. So it's time that, you know, we'll come back. We'll do a recap as quickly as possible because I know we have a lot of our older viewers on here. So we're going to try and recap as fast as possible for you guys so that we can start teaching you all the new things that we've learned. Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're going to go over just in case for the new people who don't know
absolutely.
us.
We do have a lot of new viewers here. So we definitely want to go over everything. We're not going to go into really, let's say, the boring stuff because the beginning of Forex is actually really boring. And so we're going to try and make it, you know, fun and just give you the most important things that you need to know. We're not going to just really delve into the beginning part of it, which, you know, like I said, is a little bit boring. You guys are more than welcome to do your own research if you really want to get deep into the beginning of Forex and where it all started and all that stuff. By all means, it's great to educate yourself. But we want to try and just really go over the basics with you guys, but really just get to the good stuff, what everybody's asking for, what everybody's, you know, strategies and what indicators we're using now and what are we doing. And well, we're here to give it to you raw.
Exactly. And we're not going to be able to give you everything today. Obviously, it's just like she stated, it's going to be a recap.
Unfortunately, that's just not possible. We'll be here all night into tomorrow.
Exactly.
Into the next day. We'll have to take pee breaks, food breaks.
Exactly.
Because it's a lot. And we really want to break it down so that you guys are really able to learn it and use it when you're trading on your own. Because that's what we're here to do. We're here to help you guys to become skillful traders. I'm sorry, she has me sitting on this stool, guys, and it is just like, I'm sorry, I'm not tiny, so this is very uncomfortable.
All right. So guys, I'm gonna give you some tips. You know, a lot of people email me and, you know, how did I get started in this industry? You know, I really was just introduced to a friend, a cop friend from New York City, and, you know, never prior to I joining a company, another marketing company that had Forex, I never knew about, never even heard about it. It was never talked about amongst my peers or people who I was surrounding myself with. And once I started with this company, and I was really introduced into something that was like, I was like, wow, this is a no-brainer. I spent 6 years in school as a nurse to get my degrees, and, you know, this is something exciting for us, both for us. You know, we just fell in love with it like instantly. Absolutely. I was like, wow, for me, Forex wasn't boring. You know, it was interesting, it was exciting. We love the challenge, and challenge is something that you definitely get for those of you who are Forex traders. So I'm gonna give you guys a tip you know, and I wrote here. Oh, well, yes. Oh, introduce yourself first.
You didn't introduce yourself either, really.
Oh, I gave myself, you know what, I'll introduce myself.
We have new people on here, and I
Okay.
think it's rude because
All
there's
right.
so many of you on here. I'm like really blown away by how many people are on here. So I know there's a lot of new people on here. And
All
it's
right.
not fair that our older people know us, but our newer people don't know
That's
us.
right. So would you like to go first, Melissa?
Sure. Okay. I am 29 again. Single mom to a little girl, 4 years old. Absolutely just adorable if you follow me on Facebook. But literally, like Kim said, this was nothing that Forex was anything that we ever knew about. Like, she had her career, I have mine, and it's just like that's the way we lived our lives. We didn't know any better. And you know, she was introduced by somebody else, but she called me, and I remember that day like beyond vividly. She calls me and she's like, okay, so it's like this thing, and it's about stocks and trading, and you know, we can learn how to trade. And I'm like, okay, just sign me up. Mind you, I've known her since I was 5 though, so that's super easy to do with your best friend. Just say, okay, here's my debit card. Just, you know, sign me up. You know my info. Do your thing. Bye. Like, you know. But when I got to sit down and really look at it, and I know that's the same for you, we were just like, what? Like, this is insane. Like, why are they not talking about this? Why are people not talking about this? Why are they not teaching this in schools? Like, this is just like, why isn't this an option for people? Why is it, you know, go to school, get an education, and, you know, you're supposed to get a job, and you probably are not going to get a job in the field that you even graduated, you know, work so hard to get and put yourself in massively debt for. But this is not difficult. If you applied yourself to learn this the way you apply yourself in school to learn and get that diploma and get that degree, you will master this. What does it say? It takes 10,000 hours in your craft.
Yes, and you become an expert.
You become an expert, right?
Correct.
So that's what I advise you to do. You're here with us right now. This is whether this is your first day with us or this is your second round with us. Right now, we're here all together. Let's commit ourselves to 10,000 hours.
That's right.
10,000 hours of learning and practicing our craft, right? So, you know, back to me really quick. Like I said, we just really fell in love with this. And then once we started to learn and we saw the potential that it had, it was just like, wow, like if I continue to do this, I may not have to go to work anymore. I may be able to stay at home with my child and dedicate more time to her and to other things that I want to do, like going to the gym or taking up a craft, a cooking class. You know, just things you want to enjoy your time. You don't want to be limited to the things that you can do because you're stuck at that 9 to 5 or any other type of job. There's people that work overnight shifts, that work afternoon jobs. You're limiting your life. You're limiting living your life and spending time with your loved ones. And we were like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a chance. Let's do something different. Obviously, we're doing what we're doing now, and we're getting the same result. Nothing is changing. So why not take a chance and try something new? And that's what we did. And we fell in love, and we started making money, and we learned, and we were like, okay, well, let's do this. I mean, we have a great platform that we use, and it's what has gotten us to this point. This has been able to live, you know, I'm comfortable. Would you say you're comfortable?
Absolutely. I don't have to go to work anymore. I go to work if I go, it's because I want to, not because I have to. So that's a big difference. You know, most people have to wake up every single day because that's the necessity that they need to pay the bills, to have a roof over their head. Me, if I want to go into work, it's not because I need to, it's because I want to. And as a nurse, you know, I became a nurse because I have, you know, a desire and compassion for people and individuals that need the help. You know, so I'm a big advocate, right, for all my patients.
Animals.
Yeah, I'm a big animal lover too. But, you know, just to really touch up, I'm 30 years old as well. I've been an RN for 9 years. 9 years I've been a nurse, so I've seen it all. And if I was around, I used to be around doctors, lawyers, all these things, and we've never once did anyone ever say, hey, Kim, do you know what the Forex market is? No, right? So when I started trading, I started supplementing my income from work, what I was doing. So if I was making, basically this is how I broke it down. I wanted to leave my job once I was able to make what I make part-time basis. So if I can trade part-time and make a full-time income, well, I can always keep a part-time job, right? And still continue trading so I can, really get my skills more advanced. Now, I'm not an expert,
We're not experts
at all. But
what
I do know is that I can make money on my own. I don't have to rely on anybody or signals or software and then if I'm lost. No, I use what I know and it works and it makes me consistent money. So I'm like, this is a problem with society is that no one's exposed to this type of information at all. I never knew. Now, I didn't find out to trade until I was 28 years old. You know what I mean? So my parents didn't know about it. My parents, grandparents didn't teach that. They didn't instill that on us. When I told my parents I was doing Forex, they're like, what is that?
Oh, we're crazy. We're crazy.
Yeah, we were crazy.
Some of my family members, I'm still crazy.
Yeah, so
they're like, oh, that thing that she's doing. Yeah, I don't know if it's real.
Exactly.
But
or it's a scam.
Okay, I don't know. My bank account seems pretty real. So my account seems pretty real. I don't know.
Exactly. So when people come at me and they're like, "Oh, Kim, what you're doing is a scam." I've had a lot of friends tell me, "Oh, it's a scam. You don't know what you're doing." I'm like, well, you're the one still at work and I'm not. So where's the scam really? Not being rude, but where is the scam? If I'm, I'm not out here scamming. I don't own the markets, right? I just trade the markets. It's a pyramid scheme. We get all the time. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't matter. As long as I'm happy and the people that I surround myself keep elevating me to become more successful. And that's where I'm at today, And I really want to tell you guys, for you to be a really skillful trader, you have to read, unfortunately. Not only Forex books, but you have to read books that are going to elevate you and make you think differently than the rest, right? You need to stand out. A lot of personal development. This was the first book I've ever read.
Oh, this is good.
This one, Think and Grow Rich. Okay, Think and Grow Rich. This is my first book. I put it out here because this book has really took me to a different mindset. I was so used to having the career mindset, working, 40 hours, 60 hours a week as a nurse. That's all I knew was the work mindset. I never had the entrepreneur mindset. And what could I do on my own without having to have a boss, right? So this is definitely a book that I recommend. I also want to tell you, I've been writing, those of you who follow me on Facebook, I wanted to give tips daily and really show you guys that for me, the most important skill in being a successful trader is discipline, right? Without discipline, you are not going to be successful. You're going to be all over the place. You're going to say, Kim, there's times that I'm winning 10 trades, and then I lose 10. You know what I mean? And then it's like, but why am I not consistent? And then you're being greed, right? So I tell people, for those of you who cannot see, if you break discipline once, it only takes once, the next transgression becomes much easier. So what that basically means that if you break your rule in trading, it's going to become a habit. It's going to be easier to make that a habit for discipline. So for those of you who are even trading and you're not at the level you're at, well,
that you want to be in,
follow these guidelines. I'm telling you, like, people think I'm weird, but I write on my Facebook, on Instagram, on Snapchat. Always, like, if I come across something I really think is capturing, that I think it's going to really draw the attention of people. And this is really one of my favorite ones. I've been writing them a few times on Facebook, really just to share the knowledge with you guys, because these tips can really, really lead you in a really positive way. And I'm going to get into the intro to Forex and what is, Forex. Well, for me, it's one of the most exciting markets I've ever been exposed to. And Forex markets back in the day was only for the central banks, the hedge funds, or the really extremely wealthy, right? And not until the internet came along, which gave people, smaller investors, right, the average person like ourselves, the opportunity to go into the retail markets with online Forex brokers, right? So now that people like ourselves have the opportunity, just like these hedge funds, these central banks, and the wealthy, that's when Forex started really growing. Their growth grew exponential when it hit online. Because remember, back in the day when you wanted to trade, right? We're talking about back in the day, 80s even, 90s. You look at the newspaper article and see what stocks, what shares are going up, what's going down. You would read the news, right? Where would you read the news before internet came along? You would read the news on your newspaper, right? To see where the market's going, what's the fluctuations, what big events are happening, right? So, let me just have keynotes. So, let's see. When it came on the internet, right? Now people can, by a click of a button, right? Literally can just buy and sell currencies within minutes, right? You can hold and close trades in minutes. So you can hold trades up to years if you want, right? You have the opportunity. So what the market does for us, it provides us for opportunities, right? For investors, for us to really grow and gain that financial success that we, acquire to have, right? Well, to be a really good, successful traders, right, you need to understand how the market moves. A lot of people think that the market's going to go in one direction and you're going to guess. No, you really need to know how the market moves. And if you know supply and demand, that's what really fluctuates where the market is going. A lot of people think that central banks can manipulate that. No, they really can't. I mean, I hear it all the time. Oh, it's the market makers, it's hitting my stop losses. And yeah, you got to look into the type of broker you're going into. They're market maker brokers that you have a trade, you hold it over the weekend, and then on Sunday, everyone's excited, right? And then boom, it hits your stop loss, and then boom, now it goes in the direction you want. I'm sure we've all been through that and we hated it. And I tell people, for me, the key thing is knowing supply and demand and knowing what direction the market is going to go, because the market tells a story, right? It repeats itself. And it goes, and if you understand it, just study it. Just like you would study a person, right? You study me. Oh, this is how Kim is. Well, this is how the market is, right? If the market is going in this direction, and you can't just pray, Hail Mary, Jesus, please, let it go to this way, right? You just can't, right? Right? So for the retail Forex markets, right? What happened is that when you trade with an international broker, your leverage is a lot higher, right? 250 to 1 as opposed to 50 to 1 from the US brokers, right? So that's why the Forex brokers have more rapid growth for customers as opposed to the US broker. Yes, having a US broker is great. You have protection because it's within your country, but your leveraging is a lot lower. So obviously the lower your leverage, the less risk, right? The higher your leverage, the more risk and the more potentials you have for losses, right? So a lot of people have to really consider when they're using what broker and what the leverage is. Like, you don't have to use 1 to 1,000, 1 to 500. Like, be conservative and grow your account consistently. You can do 250 to 1. And why is Forex good, right? Why is it different from the stock market, from trading equities and shares? Well, remember, when a market is open 24 hours, you have deep liquidity, right? That's the word. So what happens is you have a higher chance of making money than a market that closes at 5, because now, God forbid, you had a trade that didn't go in your direction you wanted. At least you can continue, or you can just stop when you have your own trading diary, which we will go over. Everyone should have a trading diary and show, okay, if you lose this amount, you're done for the day, and you walk away from the computer, right? And that all leads to discipline. When you're a disciplined trader, you're going to understand how it is to walk away even when you don't want to walk away, because that's when it becomes gambling, right, Melissa?
I agree.
So what happens is with the extreme liquidity, there's a lot of availability of making profits, right? Let's see what I have here. There's rapid growth, right? And it's ideal for small investors like ourselves, right? As opposed to these central banks, right? That have all that greater amount to start with as opposed to what we start with, right? So your positions, right, that you have, if you want to go buy or sell a currency like the Euro USD, right, it's dropping, right? So you go in against the US dollar and you hold your position. You'd either put a take profit when you feel comfortable, you know, and always use risk management. That's really important, guys. I can't emphasize that because, you know, people think trading is like a game. No, it's not how much money you make. It's how consistent you are and how much are you making as a profit versus your losses, right? So let me see what I have here. So the objective of currency trading, right, is based, like I said earlier, supply and demand, right? So which cannot be manipulated by the central banks like a lot of people are convinced that they are. You know, so that's why we recommend you to go on websites. And I'm going to go over that, but do you want to go over something next?
Yeah, okay. I want to just go over, I'm going to touch into a few of the things that she said and just go a little bit more in depth for our newbies, right? Because our newbies are important. Okay, so basically it's everybody we've heard of by now, right? We're talking about Forex, right? And Forex is your foreign exchange market, right? And so what this foreign exchange market allows you to do is buy and sell currency, right? So now for those of you that have no idea what Forex is, or such a weird cat, what currency is and all that stuff. So our currency, right? Our currency is a dollar, right? It's the United States dollar, right? So it would be the USD. Another currency is the euro, right? And that's for the whole Eurozone. And what it does is it takes the first two letters of, you know, the country, and it takes the first letter of their currency. So what else do we have? JPY, Japanese yen. First two letters, and this is their actual monetary currency that they use, okay? So why is Forex so freaking awesome? Why is everybody, or you may actually start to be now hearing buzz about it, what is Forex, what is Forex? Well, yes, it's a foreign exchange market. We buy and sell currency simultaneously, right? But what's awesome is, like Kim said, the market is open 5.5 days a week, right? From Sunday, I mean, we're Eastern right now. We're Eastern, where we are is Eastern Standard Time. So for us, it opens up Sunday, 5 p.m. and it closes Friday. Sorry, my handwriting on a board is not the prettiest. But it closes on Friday at 5 p.m. But what people absolutely love about it is that you can trade 24 hours a day, right? So let's say I work, you know, I work 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. So obviously on my job, I really don't have the time to trade. So what's great about this is that there's different time zones. There's different zones that you can trade in. So the basic 8 to 5 work time is considered, is considered the New York session, right? And then you have your New York session, which is, you know, your basic 9 to 5. You have your Tokyo session. And my favorite is the London session.
And mine is the New York session. Sorry,
that's my second favorite. I will say that's my second favorite. The Tokyo session is my least favorite. No offense whatsoever, but I find the Tokyo session to have less movement in the market.
Yes.
Whereas the London session and the New York session, if you just look at a chart, at a live chart during any of these time frames, this, by the way, starts at what? 2, but it really moves at 3. So I would say,
3:30.
Look at this chart about 3:30 in the morning. Okay, till about 7 a.m. Okay, and here from about 8:39 to
After 12, I stop.
after 12. Yeah,
Yeah, after 12
there's
I stop.
not really much. I agree with you there.
Between 8 to 10 is really good because between 7 to 9, because remember they overlap.
Exactly,
So
and that's when
Yep.
they're ending their day and we're starting our day, right? Because of the different time zones. But you can trade at any given time of the day, and that's what's so wonderful about it. What else is wonderful about it? Well, you can start with as little as I've seen you can open an account for as little as $100, I think. Okay. So I wouldn't recommend that.
Nope.
I would recommend even if you're gonna start small, I would try to go for 500. I would definitely say.
And that's still small.
Yeah, that is
very
so small. I would definitely try to open an account with at least $500, right? And that's what I would start trading on.
Yep.
And what's gonna be your best friend while you're building your account is compounding.
Yes.
Why? Because you never go broke compounding. You never go broke
Making a profit.
right?
Right.
And I know our old people are like, that's like one of our major, you never go broke taking a profit, okay? So I like to write points for you guys. I'm just a very organized person. I don't want to give you the straight basics because we don't want to talk about this anymore, right? So, okay, I told you all of that. Okay, she did break down people trading all around the world, right? And this is done, like she said, you don't have to go to any specific place, right? This is all done over computers. Now, she also touched about the market makers manipulating the market. Yeah, they can manipulate the market, but they cannot manipulate a currency. They cannot manipulate the value of a currency. Okay. Ooh, sorry, guys. I need to sit down for a second. Okay. So we told you that it's the largest moving market in the world. Actually, it's like outstanding. It trades $5.3 trillion per day, whereas the New York Stock Exchange trades what, billions? So trillions to billions, that's a really super big deal. This is a high moving market. You're trading with people all around the world, okay? So that's why it's so like boom, because it's so easy to make money. You can literally make money off of your phone if you have a smartphone and you have your application on, or you can trade over on your computer, right? So what do you want to download for our next webinar? I want anybody that's new to open up a demo account. I like MetaTrader 4 as the platform that we use, okay? But I mean, you can, if you like something else, if you prefer to use something else, by all means, we both use MetaTrader 4. If you have the ability to open up a live account, do that as well. Mm-hmm. Okay, so next Sunday, because on next Sunday, we're gonna go
straight to the charts
already into charts, and you wanna be able to literally watch with us live, because at 9 p.m. the market's open and we're literally going to be looking at live charts together. So that's going to be fun, right? So what's so awesome about Forex, right, is like she says, you have access to margin trading, and we'll go over that next week very quickly. You have access to leverage, okay, and obviously exposure to all these international markets, right? So basically, why you'll understand when we see the charts, you're going to be like, okay, well, how many, if I have 500 US dollars, like how many euros am I buying, or how many Japanese yens am I buying? We're going to break that down for you guys next week very, very, very quickly. It's pretty easy to understand. Okay, but basically, if I'm visiting Australia and I want to buy something and I have American money, I can't do anything with it. I have to go to, I'm sure everybody sees them at the airport to travel. It's like a little box and somebody's there and you'll see like a screen and all the different currencies and you'll see all these different numbers, and that's the exchange rates moving up and down. That's the market fluctuating throughout the day. So you're going to exchange your US dollars for its current value into the Australian dollars at what its current value, right? At the end of your trip, when you go back and you want to exchange your Australian dollars now back to US dollars, you may have lost money because maybe the currency went up. I mean, if you lost, it went down, but you may have returned more money originally because the currency went up, right? And we'll delve into that a little bit more next webinar. But basically, what do you want to do? You want to buy high, you want to sell low, right? When you're buying, you're going to hear buying is going, is going long. It's also a bear market, right? When you're selling, that's short, or you'll hear a bullish market, right? So, what else? Just really quick tips, right? Oh, I actually have homework for you guys. Older people, yeah, of course. You know, I'm a sucker for homework. Our older people don't have to do this because you should you should know this stuff. But our newbies, yes, please. We're big on homework. Do your homework. Send it to us. We send you back stuff, cool stuff, little tips, tricks, little tools that we use. So definitely do your homework.
That's
okay, because
right.
we do check it. What else do I want to tell you guys really quick? Okay. Oh, you wrote already on it.
Yes. I'll go quickly over this and then you go over your topic.
No, it doesn't work that way. I just need to finish this.
So finish it.
But I need the board.
Oh,
Who told you
no.
to do that?
Oh, no. This is important.
No, I know, but I need to show them this. Erase
Wait.
it.
We have the back of the board. Is it big? Will you have to write? Oh, no, we can't write behind the board.
I don't need to. You can't?
No, you can't.
Okay, erase it.
Oh, my God. Oh, no.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry. Okay, so each currency, while she's
This is the
erasing,
sometimes.
each
that I don't
currency has an exchange rate, right? And basically, what determines each currency's exchange rate or each country's currency, right? The actual value of it, it's a decentralized marketplace that determines that value. So it's actually what the decentralized market determines the value based at the moment, like right now, currently. Now, what is the value of this currency? It's not what was the value 5 years ago. What do we think the value will be? It's what it's currently valued at right now in the present moment, right? So, okay. So what else before I draw on the board really quickly? Okay, so now, obviously, you went over this. What makes the currencies, right? What makes the currency values fluctuate? Well, supply and demand, right? So if a country has too much, this always confuses me. Let me read it to you. Okay, because you'll kill me. Okay, so an increase in supply or a decrease in demand for a currency can cause the value of the currency to fall. I always mess this up. I'd rather read it. A decrease in supply or a decrease, you see, that's what I said. A decrease in supply or an increase in demand will make the currency rise, right? So I'm sorry, I can be dyslexic sometimes. I think that's just a mom thing now, right? So let me see, anything else that I want to tell you? Okay, no. Okay, so basically what I'm going to show you guys, okay, really quick. What we're going to look at next week, it's going to look something like this, right? So now we're going to actually, this is why it's so important for you to download your MetaTrader 4. If you're opening a live account as well, please take the time to read on your broker. Unfortunately, we can't recommend any brokers to you guys. We can't recommend. I can tell you what I use. I use Trader's Weight, FXCM. I'm opening a Talinex account as well. Kim, any brokers that you use in particular?
I use a broker, but they're not going to be able to use it. Only if we have anybody, if there's anyone that has an international address, I use Pepperstone. Okay, and that's the only thing I use for all the other stuff. I use different traders.
There you go, guys. So that's
good.
Just what we use currently right now. If I read on any other brokers that I like, or I'm sure Kim as well, we'll let you guys know, just to be able to check them out. But definitely read on your broker, okay? Because you don't want to end up picking up a broker that participates with the market makers, right? Okay, so we're gonna look at a blank chart. We're gonna help you set up your chart just so that you can fully understand. So what you're gonna be looking at is, just so quickly, this, if you see a chart like this would be considered a line chart, right? And then if you see a chart I'm not the best drawer, guys, bear with me. This would be considered a bar chart. Okay, and then last but not least, and my second favorite, because my first favorite is the line chart, you're going to see you're going to see things that look you're going to see things that look like candlesticks, right? So this is your candlestick chart, right? And we're going to help you set it up, right? But most importantly, if you open up your demo account tonight, just to look at a chart, play around with MetaTrader 4. It's actually really simple. So look at the different charts, the bar chart, the line chart, the candlestick chart. But what I like to look at my line chart for is to set up my zones, my support and resistance. And then I switch over to my candlestick chart just to see if it, and it usually does, perfectly, just aligns with what I'm looking at. So I have as accurate as possible support and resistance, my support and resistance setup. I don't like to use bar charts at all. Okay, and just really we're gonna teach you guys about a lot of different strategies that we've learned, because what's most important about learning your craft is learning all the different strategies, learning how to use all these different indicators, how to properly read all these indicators, and how to use all of that together, right? How to use support and resistance, how to use trend lines, how to use channels, how to use the Fibonacci extension, the Fibonacci retracement, how to use your RSI indicator, how to use the different oscillators, how to use moving averages. You want to learn how to use all of that together, right? And that's really just the basics. But I think something, and I hope this is a book that Kim recommends to you guys, if you can trade naked, and by what I mean by that is, if you could trade and you can read a chart without indicators and strategies and different tools, if you could really just analyze a chart by looking at its past, right? Looking at a chart in its past, looking at a chart in its present, and really simple tools like support and resistance. You're not trying to manipulate what you're seeing. That's really simple. But if you can look at a chart like that and you can read it and you can make an accurate prediction and place a profitable trade, you're naked trading. And that's, I think, the best way and the most successful way to trade. Yeah, you can use all these mumbo jumbo techniques, but they're tools. They're tools. And if you don't know how to properly use those tools and you don't know how to properly read a chart, you need to use all those things to maybe tell you where the market's going so that you can place a trade to maybe make some money. No. What we want here is accuracy, right? As accurate as possible. And don't get me wrong, before you even open up a live account, if you're not prepared to lose money, don't trade live. I'll tell you that right now, okay? Do not trade live, because you know what? I mean, I'm a person that I hate to lose money. I just don't care. Like, it just hurts me. I hate losing money. It hurts me. But when you go into trading, you literally have to detach your feelings, right? Because yeah, you're trading your money, but understand that you could be a great trader and you could know how to read a chart and you could see all these signs and all these, indicators in the chart, all these candlesticks, a doji, a hammer, a hanging man, just all these different things, right? You could see them, and still the market is so volatile that maybe you entered wrong and you thought it was going to go up and it shut down quick. It had a pullback, shot all the way back down. Whatever. It happens. You could lose a trade. You are going to lose a trade. Nobody successfully wins on every single trade. It's just, that's not realistic. Trading is a risk in itself. So if you're not prepared to lose money, please don't trade live. Don't email me talking about, oh my God, I blew my account. No, it shouldn't happen. I've never blown my account. I have never, ever, not once blown my account. There's no reason for you to. If you really actually study up on margin, which we will educate you about next week quickly, and leverage, right? And you're picking out your correct broker and you're using the proper risk management, there's no reason for you to blow your account. Okay, so just take that with you, and then just I'll give you the homework at the end like I normally do. But just please, I just want to tell you guys, set up your demo, set up your live if you want to. Oh, it's kind of dark.
No, I know, I'm just trying to fix the lighting.
That's better. Okay, so set up your demo, set up your live if you want to. And I need you to get a notebook, pretty thick notebook, okay? If you want to start playing around on your demo account, write down what you're doing, okay? Write down every trade that you make. The time, the time you executed, the time you closed it, what pair you're trading. Write down all the details, okay? That I want you guys to keep a trading journal, right? And in the back of that trading journal, we're going to start writing rules, trading rules. We're going to give you trading rules as we go along. And you should have another notebook just to take notes. And that's just me being honest. So definitely get that together. You're going to have your trading journal and your notebook to take notes. But Kimmel had already given you a tip. My tip is just don't get greedy. Absolutely do not get greedy. So I'll let Kim rewrite her board.
And remember, guys, this video, it's not going to be advanced. This video is just going to be just for beginners. It's just a recap of the intro Forex. So we are going to be going into stuff that's going to be live charts. We mentioned earlier in our video that we're going to be going into our live charts. I will be showing you how I trade and how I make profits, because there's a lot of people that are posers and really don't make anything but on demo accounts. And I'm going to show you how to make real money. And some people, you know, Melissa got a little tongue twisted, but yes, with the short and sell, right? For short and sell and the bull and longs, right? We know the bulls are going up, right? You know that the bears are going down. She said it backwards.
She didn't even realize it.
She said it backwards, but I just want to correct that. Yes, you know, she is.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, she said it by accident, but you know what? That should be nothing. That should be the least of my worries. So people, you know, sometimes get tongue twisted, but it is what it is. And I'm going to be going over books that I recommend for people that need to really educate themselves instead of, you know, critiquing. Learn and humble yourself, okay? So for beginners, right? Because most people are beginners, right? Even on the Forex and all these millionaires you see on Facebook, they're beginners. Trust and believe, they are beginners. So for the beginners, we're going to put, which is like we call a beginner's nurse, novice, right? Where is the
Eraser?
Eraser.
Right in front of you on the black.
Oh, God.
Blind and mommy brain.
I don't have my glasses on. All right. So number one, I have this book. If I can find it, I'll show it to you in my next session. I bought this book, Currency Trading for Dummies. Woo! There's a lot out there sometimes, all right? Currency Trading for Dummies by Mark Gallant and Brian Dolan. This book really simplifies it for people who are really new and do not know a thing. I recommend you this book, Currency Trading for Dummies, okay? They make a lot of awesome books, this company, and they just really simplify it because trading doesn't have to be complicated. You just got to simplify it, right? If people knew how to simplify it, there'll be more people making real money, okay? So another book, okay? It's called book number 2, which all these books that I'm writing, I have, and I've read every single one of them more than once because I am a reader. I love to read, and I read every time. I'm just a very low-key trader, and I just keep to myself on how I do my own stuff. Sometimes it's better that way. Market Wizards by Jack. I'm going to write his last name. Swagger, something like this. Excuse me if I'm not saying it correctly, because there's people on here that will be watching. Market Wizards. Market Wizards is a great, great book. It's also for beginners, which we call them the novice traders, right? Another book is, which is one of my favorites. And for those of you that really start watching our webinars, I will be giving stuff. You would have to email ForexChicks.com, and we will be giving you
ForexChicks@gmail.com.
Oh, at ForexChicks@gmail.com.
What is it today? I have like major mommy brain today. Sorry, guys. Naked Forex.
Naked Forex.
Favorite.
It really shows you
Absolutely favorite book.
how to trade with absolutely anything. I love it. This is probably my number 1 book.
Absolutely, guys. Like,
I read this book about 5 times.
Like definitely. Okay, read this one first if you're new. But if you're not, and you have not read Naked Forex, I'm sorry. Like, you're not taking this seriously because this book is absolutely freaking amazing. And like I said, if you can trade naked, you're golden.
That's right. So, you know, these are the 3 books that I recommend for people that are starting out, okay? Now, there's a really, really good book that I read. So for those of you watching, just take a quick picture of it. Currency Trading for Dummies, Market Wizards, and Naked Forex. Read these books, and I promise you, you're going to come back and email me, Kim, wow, it really breaks it down and simplifies things. All right? And then the next book I'm going to recommend, and I only recommend things that I personally read myself. You know, people may not like my choices, but these are what I enjoyed reading, and this is what I feel that has helped me the most in my trading. Okay?
And FYI, we're like, I know him and I are similar. We do not like to read boring books.
Mm-hmm.
So we promise you that not only are these good, but they're not going to be dragging to read. For our non-readers.
Okay, this book really doesn't go deep into trading, but this is the best book, Trading in the Zone, by Mark Douglas. Trading in the Zone is really, it's a book about psychology and how to have the right mindset, okay? And most traders do not have the right mindset. They think they do, but they have no idea, because when they come and they're not being, because if you're consistent, you have the right mindset. If you leave your emotions at the door, you have the right mindset. If you're disciplined, then you have the right mindset. Those are keys that people may not think, oh, well, I know this stuff. Well, if you know this stuff, why aren't you making good money? Why aren't you consistent? Humble yourself. Humble yourself and take my advice, even if you're already a trader. But these simple tips that I'm giving you can really change your pockets. So I just want to just tell that to everybody. Make sure for anyone, you have to read a book when it comes to trading for psychology, because that's going to help you develop the right mindset to be a trader and how to independently trade on your own and be successful at it. All right, guys? So these are my top books, right? These are my top books that I've read. I've read this one twice, and I'm going to start it probably next week for the third time, okay? So read this book, because you're going to thank me. Trading in the Zone is just,
I like that book.
Trading in the Zone is just for psychology. Really just breaks it down and having the perfect mindset, right? Now, I only trade, a lot of people here trade the London session. I don't trade the London session. I love sleep.
Why don't you? Yes, thank you.
I love sleep. I feel comfortable trading the New York session. I don't have to, make myself stay up all crazy hours of the day. I like sleep,
It's exciting. You need to stay up for one to love it.
My preference is the New York session. Not only that, but I also trade futures, so it makes sense for me to be up for the New York session. I also trade futures, so that's something I go into a whole nother day. There's a lot of people interested in it, but you gotta have money to trade in futures. I'll keep it simple as that. That's why I trade the London session, the New York session, because of futures. Forex Factory, FX Street. I'm sure these are some very familiar daily sites to go to. Now, I use these sites daily just to, get an outlook of the forecast, see what's happening in the news, and really to see what big events are coming up. So anyone who wants to learn how to trade, please, even if you're a beginner and you may be confused when you're first reading the news, like you don't fully understand it. But once you start exposing yourself and you do something for more than 30 days, right, it becomes a habit. So make this a habit every morning to check the news and see what's happening around the world, the economy, because it's not only about being a technical analysis and trading. You also have to have your fundamentals, right? One coincides with the other, and a lot of people forget that. So you need to have your technical, but you also have to have your fundamentals and really understand what your environment. You have to be, right, a product of what you are, right? So make sure you go on these sites. Make sure you go on them every single day, even if you don't trade, but familiarize yourself words and what's happening and how the market can fluctuate at any time of the day, right? So these are my Forex sites that I go on, okay? I gave you my books. I gave you an introduction to Forex. Melissa gave you some intro on the supply and demand, and we'll definitely go into that starting next week. Melissa has some homework she wants to give, right? Assignments. Now, if you fail to do it, you know, those who do it will get rewarded. Those who don't, you know, continue trading and doing what works for you, right? Yeah. So what do you have for the homework? Oh, do you need to go over anything else?
I had something in my mind and then I forgot it.
Okay.
So a little bit obsessed me because it was like important.
It's fine. Ready?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, guys. So, those of you who know me know that, or those of you who know us know that we're really big on homework. And in order to move our next webinar, the beginning part of it, as fast as possible, our beginners, do this as your homework. Okay, and we're gonna properly explain it to you and break it down to you so that you actually understand what I need to know what is your margin. Okay. What is margin trading? What is leverage? And what is a lot? And what is the sorry guys, I'm over your face. Okay, so to move, like I said, to move along our next session, newbies, I need to know, send this in. What is your margin? What is margin trading? What is leverage? What is a lot? What is the bid and the ask price? Okay, so we'll go over this, which I'm sure, where's the cat? Which this is just essential for you guys to know, okay? Because depending on what your margin is, how your margin trading and what your leverage is, you're gonna see, even if you're on a demo account and you're placing trades, you're gonna see the amounts that you're making and what lots you can use, and you'll understand what a lot is when you look it up. You know, and you can see what effects you get using different lots when you're trading. Okay, so that's my homework for you guys. I had something I wanted to tell you guys and I really can't remember. Kim like completely knocked it out of my mind. But yeah, guys, just definitely send in your homework. Like I said, Kim, we reward those who do. Okay, and this is like super easy what I gave you. And the first one is always easy. You guys should know that by now. As we go along, this is gonna get more and more and more intense. And the information that we're gonna give you, hopefully if you apply it correctly and you follow what we're telling you to do, you will become a successful trader. And I'm gonna love, I'm Melissa Gonzalez on Facebook.com. You can email us at ForexChicks@gmail.com. Kimberly is Kimberly Torres on Facebook.com. We have a lot of our former, I don't want to say students, but yeah, kind of like our students. Yeah. Some of our former students that do follow us on Facebook, and you'll see just throughout our page with what we've already taught, people have applied it and become successful. So we just ask you to go on a 10,000 an hour run with us and master your craft.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I'm excited for those who are on today. I know I apologize for those already who are a little more advanced, but not obviously no one here is an expert. But if it wasn't, you know, as exciting, but we promise you it's going to be more exciting from here on. We're going to start hitting the charts. We're going to go doing live trading with you guys and really go over the markets and stuff like that. And make sure to email us if you have any questions at ForexChicks.com.
ForexChicks at email. I'm telling you, mommy,
that.
you're not a mom, so I don't know what your excuse is. I'm a mom, so I have mommy brain.
ForexChicks at gmail.com. Don't forget.
Email us if you have any questions. Email us if you want us to send you again. Maybe you didn't get the books and the websites. If you're interested in anything, just voice your questions. If you're curious about anything you want us to explain better, anything you want us to go over, we love to take requests.
Absolutely.
If you're curious about the platform that we use, anything at all, just email us, ForexChicks@gmail.com. One of us will get back to you.
Absolutely. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in today. And it's only going to get better from here on, guys. So thank you guys once again. Anything else you want to say? Or that's it?
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. We're going to end this broadcast. Bye. Take care.